Hello children, welcome to our ninth English class. Children, in the previous class, we are in the poem called Upagupta, which was written by Rabindranath Tagore. Regarding the poem, I told you that it was a contrary between the two characters. That is, one is Upagupta, who was known for simplicity, kindness and aesthetic knowledge, correct? Whereas another side, it was a contrary of a lady who was very beautiful. That is Vasavadatta. She was a dancing girl of a Mathura. How she was in the sense, she was proud of her beauty, aesthetic beauty as well as the wealth. She wanted to make a show of this to both things. So there is a contrary, and you also seen that the weather condition in the sense which was murky sky, it symbolized that darkness, full of darkness, which take the side of a Upagupta, because it is not that Upagupta was in a sadness or he was a lonely. He was renounced, or he left, sacrificed all the materialistic life, and he was living simple life, isn't it? For the purpose of a knowledge or the purpose to serve others. So he is the enlightened one, where he was not scared of any lightning, thundering or a storm. Isn't it, children, that you have observed? Where other side, Vasavadatta or the dancing girl, though she was having everything in the sense beautiful she is and having so much of a wealth, she was scared of these natural things such as cloudy weather, storm and thundering. But all with this she was scared. And children, have you noticed that why we are usually feel scared? Why we are feel scared, children? Any idea or any thoughts in your mind? Is it? So, according to me, we are scared only when we are in the wrong side. Isn't it, children? According to me, I assume that if I do any mistake, or I am in a mistake or a wrong side, then we will feel a scared. That the scaredness will come to our mind or a heart, isn't it? Otherwise, assume that you are a clean in the sense you are 100% sure that you have not done any mistake anywhere. Then you are not scared of anything, or you will not to scared of anyone. That is the assumption, or that is the belief we have, isn't it? So here you see the Upagupta, he was very knowledgeable, and he know what is a life and what is a living and what the path we should follow. Everything he know, so he was not scared of anything. What is the path we should walk in the sense, children? That is the simplicity of a life, or the truth of a life is that we born and we will die one day. Isn't it, children? We are born and we will die. In between the gap between life and death, children, we will accomplish many things. Either we achieve something, or we will remain as a failure, or without doing anything also we will remain as a failure. Sometimes doing so much of effort also we will get fail in life, isn't it? But at last we have to reach our destination. What is our destination? That is the death, isn't it, children? So I told you, I hope you remember that in the first lesson we have observed that when Yaksha asks Yudhishthira that what is a foolishness, then the Yudhishthira will reply that knowing that we will die, but still we are wishing to live more years. That is a foolishness, isn't it, children? This is what the Upagupta and this lady contrary, that we know that we will born and one day we will die. In between these gap, why we are worried, isn't it? Why should we worry? But what and where we are living, that living should be good and simple, isn't it? So that we have to follow. That is the main intention of a life. Whereas if we are living and dying one day, in between this gap, why we have to struggle of the things called mind, beauty, wealth, or the enmity? Why all these things is needed in life, children? Instead of that, we could have lived simple life, right? Happy life, isn't it? That is what here the Upagupta want to convey to that lady, where she was proud of her beauty. One day her beauty will vanish, isn't it, children? Whose beauty will remain till the death? when maybe we are born with the beauty, but one day our beauty will vanish, isn't it? So here Upagupta want to convey the same fact to that lady who was so much of a proud of her beauty as well as the wealth. Even you take a wealth, today it may there or tomorrow it may not be there. Even as a beauty, correct? So all these things are temporary in our life, which is a permanent in our life, which is permanent. That is what good we do to others. What kind of a goodness in which we are living in our life, that remain permanently. Even after that it will remain in the hearts of other, isn't it, children? That is what the life is. So here you may observe the proud in the sense way she walked. It was like stepping on the breast of the Upagupta. That shows the arrogance, and she invite that you come to my home. Graciously you come to my home. Why you are sleeping on a dusty earth? Isn't it? When we don't have anything, then these dusty earth will give shelter to us. Isn't it, children? Then why we have to insert the earth as a dusty? Isn't it? Yes or no? So these all the where poem shows that where she was proud of her wealth as well as her beauty. Another side, Upagupta was very simple and kind person. So again I want to read the poem so that we can continue with the remaining stanza. So move on with the poem. Upagupta, I am reading from the beginning, children. Upagupta, the disciple of Buddha, lay asleep on the dust by the city wall of Mathura. Lamps were all shut, lamps were all out, doors were all shut, and stars were all hidden by the murky sky of August. Those feet were those tinkling with ankle, touching his breast of a sudden. He woke up startled, and the light from a woman's lamp struck his forgiving eyes. It was the dancing girl, stayed with the jewels, wearing a pale blue mantle, drunk with the wine of her youth. She lowered her lamp and showed the young face, shortly beautiful. Forgive me, young ascetic, said the woman. Graciously come to my house. The dusty earth is not fit bed for you. The young ascetic answered, Woman, go on your way. When the time is reached, I will come to you. Suddenly, the black night showed his teeth. In a flash of lightning, the storm growled from the corner of the sky, and the woman trembled in fear of some unknown danger. So, till here we completed. Now continue. So, she was scared of the thunder and lightning, and why she was scared? Maybe she was scared of losing her wealth, isn't it? Because of a storm or the flood, her wealth may destroy, or her beauty may spoil, or her life may be come into a danger because of the flood or a storm or a thunder. So she was scared. People are scared when he thinks of his future, about die or about death. Then only the person will feel scared. If we are not scared of our death, then we need not to scared of anything, children, isn't it? So it doesn't mean that we have to sit and welcome our death every day, isn't it, children? That is a foolishness. So move on with the topic. A year has not yet passed. It was a evening of a day in April. So what was the time after first part of the poem? First part of the poem was in August, where it was a time of a monsoon or the rainy time, whereas second part of the poem was a year has not yet passed. See the duration, the 1 year has not yet even completed. In between that, a year has not yet passed. It was evening of a day in April. It was almost evening in the month of April. The April month symbolizes of a spring. I hope you know this, isn't it? So in a spring season. So it was the evening of a day in spring. So April is the month of a spring. The branches of the wayside trees were full of blossom. How the atmosphere in the month of April, the wayside in the sense, maybe it may be a backyard of your home, or it may be a side scene of your city or a town, where branches of a wayside trees were full of blossom. Blossom in the sense, trees were full of the fruits as well as a flower. It means that at spring season, you know, the beauty of a spring season is something very beautiful. So here a poet is describing in the month of April, we can see everywhere greenery. The trees and backyard was full of the fruits as well as a flower. And gay notes of the flute come floating in the warm spring air from afar. What does it mean? Gay notes. Gay notes in the sense happy. So, gay notes of a flute. Gay notes of a flute, it means it may be a sound of a birds, or it may be a sound of a wind which blow in a spring. It was very pleasant, which gives so much of a pleasure to a heart as well as a mind. You may observe, isn't it? Now continuously rain in the sense somewhere you feel irritated, isn't it? Or if it is so much of a sunny or a hot, then also you are irritated. Whereas this spring month, which symbolize that a light shade of a wind, which may make you feel happy, cool and relaxed, correct? And the noise of the birds or the insect which you get in the time of a springs, which was compared to gay notes of a flute. Flute in the sense which the noise of the flute, noise of a wind or insect, anything such which you get in the spring. So which was compared to the gay notes of a flute, means the things or the sound which we get in a spring season, which were compared to the sound of a flute, and which feel or which gives us a kind of a happiness. Gay notes of the flute came floating in the warm spring air from the afar. Though it may be a noise which was in afar, but which gives so much of a pleasure to the heart. Is it clear? So here a poet was describing beauty of a nature in the month of August. I read once again. A year has not yet passed. It was the evening of a day in April in spring season. The branches of the wayside trees were full of blossom. Gay notes of the flute came floating in the warm spring air from afar. So, Upagupta, so that was the description of a nature. Then, Upagupta passed through the city and stood at the base of the rampart. So, here in the month of August, Upagupta again he will visit the city called Mathura. When he came near the city gate of Mathura, he stood in a rampart. So he come and stand in front of the main gate of the city. Then was that woman, observe there, was that woman laying at his feet in the shadow of mango grove. So where the woman was sleeping, here the woman was that dancing girl. Who was the dancing girl? She was Vasavadatta. Where she was sleeping, Upagupta observed that was that the woman lying at his feet. His feet, that was the shadow of a tree, or she was sleeping below the tree. Is it clear? See here, his feet refer to what here? What does it mean, children? Below tree. She was sleeping. Correct? What does it symbolize? See, the lady, one who was so much proud of her wealth, where she refused to sleep on a dusty earth. Isn't it? I hope you remember in the last class which I told. She was refused, Upagupta, to sleep on the dusty floor, where she slept on the shadow of the tree. Shadow of the tree where she was slept, which was compared as his feet. It was insulting, isn't it? If suppose we are below of somebody's feet, it was insulting. So here poet has described that she was sleeping below his feet. So the word his feet has been used here to show that the lady, one who was so much of pride or the proud of her wealth, now she was below of somebody else's feet. Clear, children? So was the woman lying at his feet, shadow of mango grove. So she was sleeping below the mango tree. Struck with the black pestilence her body. So she was stuck with the black pestilence her body. It means she was suffering from some epidemic diseases. That lady was suffering from some epidemic diseases. You know epidemic disease in the sense the disease which spread from person to person. So spotted with shore of smallpox. So the disease was identified as it was smallpox. She was hurriedly driven away from the town. So when she was recognized with the diseases of smallpox, she was thrown out of the city. It means she was removed from the city in the fear that diseases may spread from person to person. To avoid her poisonous contagion. So to avoid her poisonous contagion in the sense they were scared that her diseases may spread the common people. The ascetic sat by her side, took her head on his knees. See the sympathy of the Upagupta on that lady. What he will do? He purposely, he know that lady was in a trouble. So what he will do? He will come in search of that lady. As soon as he noticed that lady was sleeping below the tree or in the shadow of the tree, he will go near to that lady and the ascetic sat by her side, where the situation people are scared to go near to her, but here Upagupta will go very close to her and sit next to her, and he took her head on her knees. It means he will make her to sleep on her feet or on his lap. It shows the love of a mother or the child. The relationship which shown here was the love of a parent, a mother to the child. I'll read once again. Struck with the black pestilence her body, spotted with shore of smallpox, she was hurriedly driven away from the town. To avoid her poisonous contagion, the ascetic sat by her side, took her head on his knees, and moistened her lips with water and summered her body with sandal balm. So where people are avoiding her, even giving water or food to her, because they scared that if go nearby her breath may cause the diseases. So even they were not giving water to that dancing girl. So what here Upagupta will go do? He moistened in the sense he will take a bit of a water or little water, and on her lips he will simmer in the sense he will provide a water to the dancing girl, and he will apply some sandal balm, in the sense that sandal liquid or some sandal cream he will apply on the smallpox, especially on her body. Who are you, merciful one? So she will ask. She was not able to recognize that who was that person. So she will answer, who are you? Who are the merciful one? Asked the woman. The time at last has come to visit you, and I am here, replied the young ascetic. So do you remember he has told that time will reap, then I will come to you. Like that ascetic has told the dancing girl before, isn't it, in the month of August. Now in the time of April, which was in a month of spring, the time has reaped, in the sense a time has came where the woman was suffering in the epidemic diseases. That time he has came to rescue of that girl. So here he will remind that, see, the time at last, so the time finally came. The time at last has came to visit. So the time has came to you, and I am here. So as you invited me that day, I refused to come because that was not time to come to you. Now it is a perfect time to visit you, so I came to you, replied the young ascetic. So here a poem will end, children. What does it mean? Here Upagupta, who was symbol of a mercy and who reached the dancing girl at the time of her need, and where she has lost her beauty as well as her wealth, everyone ignored her. In that moment, Upagupta came and helped her. He showed the mercy where she was proudly invited to come and take a comfort sleep in my house. And the situation where came, now she was only sleeping on the dusty earth. In that moment, he came to help the dancing girl, which means that, so here we have to remember that finally that nothing is permanent in life. Everything is temporary. Either it is a beauty or a wealth. Everything will vanish one day. So we should not be proud of our wealth or the beauty. We should be humble and kind to the people. That is what the moral of the poem. So children, read this poem and try to summarize the poem in your own words. Is it clear, children? Okay. See you in the next class with the new topic.